So yeah, so I've got multitude. So the way I look at it, so when I did actually spend my money, who did I actually spend that money with? So I can look at my top top vendors where I'm actually going off and spending money, and I can filter those. I can actually see that so Ataman Tire Power in this case is my car mechanic, and over time, how much have I spent on just on those particular expenses, and could that give me insight into whether is my car coming to a stage where I'm better off selling it off, or so on and so forth. Again, giving me insights that I wouldn't easily be able to get if I was just to look at my transactional statements in either the online portal that my bank has through internet banking. And then again, looking at it geographically, so I can see whether if I'm doing any international transactions, are they the right ones? There's obviously one here I wasn't quite expecting, so I can go in, and it's obviously a mapping issue in this case, but that also gives me a quick idea: is my card being used fraudulently in areas where I shouldn't have typically been having spending. But then where I also tie it into the rest of the stack is looking at how I can use past data to provide me insights into future spend and also other items. So here I've actually tied it into machine learning capabilities of Azure and looked at my past data. So in this case, this is my spend over time. And the red bit is actually predictions that I've got back from an Azure ML algorithm where I use a regression algorithm to actually look at all my past spends, and based on that, am I going to have a spike coming up? How much of a spike, roughly based on my past? The other thing I've also got it to do is use Facebook connector to look for things like, are there any important events coming up? And based on that, also go reach out to my Facebook network, see where they've been going, whether they're a particular restaurant. So in this case, in the month of February, she had my wife's birthday come up, and I just wanted to see, rather than me trying to work out which restaurant should I actually take her to, why can't I use the power of data and use where my Facebook friend circle are going, which restaurants have they tried out recently, which have got the most amount of likes, and based on that I can go through and surface up some recommendations. And in this case, it recommended one of these new Indian restaurants just recently opened up in Sydney. Another area where I'm using machine learning is just basically to make sure, am I likely to make my repayments on time? And so here's a visualization that just gives me a score and probability of the fact that I am going to make it on my next payment, based on, again, my past behavior of being able to pay this off. So I tell the story about going from just getting insights from just being able to drill down, slice your data, but then how do we use data to tell you more about what potentially might be happening? So, and then potentially even give you some of that actionable insights. So like things like recommending which restaurants, or providing me insights into where I'll be likely to, what impact I'm likely to have in the coming month, so I can plan my spend accordingly. So that's a little bit of the story that I tell about how I use data. I also showcase in here then a little bit of Q&A and its capability, because then I don't need to just have everything reported on. I don't need to have pre-created the report. If all I need to get is show me the total spend for last month, for example. I go off and showcase that.